Data access, network addresses and data link addresses. So in order to communicate from one source to another destination, what we need some kind of network and data link addresses. So physical addresses, what they provide, timing and synchronization, destination and source. Physical addresses actually network at destination and source logical addresses. Anybody knows the difference between source logical and physical? In a day-to-day language, you can think about it. When you left your house for the office, actually, you were following the direction. Your bus or car, you just follow the direction. It just gave you that, okay, South Woodford is in which direction? Is it south, west, east, north? So you just follow that direction. So logical address is just providing you the direction. Okay, ultimately, once you reach in that particular area, then if you want to reach that house or that building, that physically it present, right? If you want to go to USA to your friend, you never say that, okay, I'm going to go to see my friend at 123./24 street at this. You will say, yes, I'm going to New York. Most probably you say, I'm going to USA. So you buy a ticket, you go to the airport, and the guy, the plane, the pilot, they just go in one direction, right? And they leave you at the airport. That's it. That's their job. Finish. After that, you need to find the physical address. Okay? And physically is present at somewhere. So whenever you want to reach from source to destination, you always follow the logical address first. Because physical address is not in your mind. If I ask you where you live, you never say that I live at 37 Ambleside Garden. I said I live in Ilford, I live in Redbridge. So people, physically they don't know. They will come in that particular area, they will look at the street, okay, and after finally when they find it, then they look at which house number. But that house number is a physically presence of that person. So in order to communicate effectively all these through networking, you need logical and physical both. If you have one and not the other one, the communication is not possible. Is it clear? Okay. So that's the network addresses and data link addresses. Probably network address we call an IP address, which is the logical address, and the physical address is the MAC address, the per address in the network card itself. So physical data, network, transport, and upper layer. So you can think about it. Every address has some kind of addressing. Even transport layer has some kind of address, which we'll see later on. So network addresses normally will represent layer 3 network addresses like an IP addresses, which are configured on the router. And that is why you see the router is a WAN device. It connects your network LAN to another LAN through using some kind of physical media. So basically, for example, if this file source, original source, want to reach to the destination, okay, 192.168, it's his address. This is source, this is the destination. You want to reach there to the router's IP packet, and then this router is connected to another router is connected to the LAN, and then finally you are reaching to destination at web server. Okay. Data link addresses, network addresses, source IP addresses, destination IP addresses responsible for delivering of the IP from the original source to the final destination, either on the same network or in the remote network. Basically, as you know, that most likely there is always, whenever you communicate, there is always the same network or the remote network. That's the two concept is very important. Let's say me and Raza, we are living in the same street. Okay, my door number is 37, his door number is on 35, right? And that's true because we are neighbors, right? So we live on the same street. So if he says that I live in 37 Ambleside and I said I live in 35 Ambleside, you see the common address, it's the same. So now it's understood that we live on the same network. I don't need to go take a car and go outside. But when I say yes, I live in 37 Ambleside and you say I live in 49 George Lane. Now, because of the George Lane and Ambleside, it's understood that it is a different area. Or if I say you live in Harlow and I live in Redbridge or South Woodford, it means that two different town or two different country or two different city. If you live in the same city, I live in London, you live in London, oh, this is the same town. Okay, so human can actually understand that. But how the network devices understand that, that's a different concept. We'll discuss in very much detail. Okay, network devices similarly calculate, is it on the same network or is it a remote network? If it's on the same network, then I don't need to send this packet to the router. For example, if I want to print any of my printer here and I want to send this message will not go to the router because router is connected to the BT. If I want to send any message to google.com, bbc.com, amazon.com, then the message will go to the router. But if it's in my same network, like Ali Machine, I want to send the message to Ali Machine, that is on the same network. Clear? Responsible for delivering a data link frame from network interface card to network interface card. Data link address is layer 2 address. Similarly like network address, which is a logical address, we also have data link address, which is a physical address. Okay, destination address, NIC, and source and destination, and you can see there is a layer 3, and on top of it there is a layer 2. So whenever there is a message communicated from this source to this destination from 192, 168 to 172, it is understood that this is not on the same network. Definitely it goes to the router, and router know where this guy is. Router is directly saying, oh, this guy is connected to my this interface, please exit from there. So router is just giving you the direction. Okay. Layer 2 network addresses. You can see destination and network address. Anybody knows how we can find the layer 2 network addresses on our computer? So again, IP config shows you the IP addresses. IP config all will show you the IP address and the MAC addresses, the DNS addresses, DHCP addresses, all information. And ping utility will show you that the network device, remote network device, is it reachable or not? Yep. So let's continue. Device is the same network or device on the same network. So how we can determine that the network is on the same? Like, are you talking to the? I'm talking to the people inside my room, and I'm talking to the outside. The important concept especially for networking, how device can determine is it on the same network or is it on the network? Whenever you communicate from the ping, you from PC to this server, for example, 192.168.1.9, this is 192.168.1.10, and then the MAC address is AAA, and this is the CCC. So what is happening? So what happened that the destination is CCC and source is the AAA at the data link layer, and at the IP layer we can see the source is 192.168, host is 110, and the destination is the network address and the host address. So whenever we discuss later on detail what is IP addressing, actually IP address, it has two portions. Always whenever you talk about your host, it always has two portions: street name and the door number, right? Street name and the door number. So the street name is always same. If I am living in 10 George Lane, you are living in 20 George Lane, so George Lane is common, but the door number is always unique on the same street. So because of the source and the network address, if the network address, which is like every IP address has two portions, network address and host portion. Similarly, like a door number, 30 George Lane. The George Lane is a network and the door number is maybe different, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3. So you can see if the source and destination, the network address is the same, it means we are talking to the same network. I don't need to send this information to the router. This is a local traffic. It's a local LAN traffic. I need a router help. Router will only work if the communication is outside. See another example. Role of the network address, network portion of the IP address, okay, and the host portion. As common we see, source IP address and sending the device destination IP. Role of the network address, source MAC address. This is the data link are in the same and sending. Okay. So what happened? Device is now take an example of when the devices are on the remote network. Now this time the destination, the source MAC and the destination MACs are there, but you can see the source IP and the destination IP is different. This is 192.168, this is 172.6. So this is like I'm sending, so I'm going from Ilford or to maybe a Harlem, for example. So now I can understand that it's a different network. So now I need a car, I need a navigation, and I need might be some help. So at this level, you will see that the router is going to be involved. So this guy will be sending this information to the router. Router know another router. Maybe he doesn't know directly. He's getting some help from this router. This guy is getting from this router. And finally, once it's reach here, it shout here that, okay, where is that guy? And then finally reaching to the destination. Are you clear how we find the network address? What is the network address? What is the logical address? What is the physical address? How we can find out logical and physical address on our computer? Plus how we can